Hello, I'm Jonathan Kessler. Welcome to the Doumbek video. The Doumbek is a goblet-shaped drum found throughout the Middle East, through the Arab world, in Turkey, and over into Armenia. As you can see, the Doumbek comes in a lot of different varieties, partly because it's spread over such a wide area that different regions make them differently and play them differently. We're going to focus on Arab Doumbek technique, which I find produces a very clear, crisp sound that's very exciting to listen to and really satisfying to play. Now, before we begin, there are a few things that are important in drumming in general and for the Doumbek. Perhaps the most important thing is stay relaxed. Play with small gestures. Keep your arms in close. If you're flailing around like this, then you're wasting a lot of motion, you're wasting a lot of energy. You'll get tired faster, and you won't be able to play as well. If your technique is good, you can play all night long, and you can have a good time doing it. The Doumbek is held in the lap, like this. The sound goes out the back, so it's important that you have a foot or two of space behind you. If you try to play on a couch, the sound disappears. If you're wearing any rings, take them off. Rings can hurt your hand, and equally importantly, they can hurt your drum. Especially if you have a drum with a natural skin head, rings will tear up your drum in a very short time. Take off your rings, set the drum on your lap. Your left arm rests on the drum, and although it may feel awkward at first, keep it on the drum. Don't let it come up like this. That puts a lot of tension into your shoulders and will make it harder for you to keep playing. Keep your arm down. Your right arm hangs loosely and comes in at the drum like this. Practice slowly at first. Speed will come. If you learn correctly and slowly, you'll build your speed naturally, and things will come easily and in tempo. If you try to start out too fast, you'll learn bad habits that'll make it actually harder for you to play faster later on. The Doumbek produces a wide variety of sounds, but there are three basic sounds to playing Doumbek. The first, called Doum, is a bassy sound. The second, called Tek, is a treble sound. And the third, which is sometimes just called left-hand Tek, or sometimes called Ka, is played with the left hand, and is also a treble sound. The advantage to calling the left hand Ka is that you can notate rhythms vocally, so that the popular rhythm Maksum is called Doum Tek Ka Tek Doum Ka Tek Teka Doum Tek Ka Tek Doum Ka Tek. Saying the rhythm tells you exactly how to play. Now let's work on techniques. And these simple techniques will make the difference between you being a good drummer and just an average drummer. Good sounding techniques make all the difference in how you sound. So take a little time and practice them. Doum, the bass sound, is played with your right hand, or your left hand if you're left-handed. But for brevity's sake, I'm going to assume that I'm talking to an audience of righties. The fingers are together, and this pad of your hand just goes right here at the edge of the drum. That lets you know how far your hand should go in. It's not in the middle of the drum, and it's certainly not over here. If this pad hit the edge of the drum, that's where you play Doum. You move from the wrist with this part of the fingers hitting the drum head, and you should get a nice clear sound. The hand bounces off the drum a little bit. That lets the drum ring. Doum. You're not playing with your whole hand. It's not Doum, just from the wrist. take some time and practice doom. Tek is also played with these two fingers of the right hand, and the striking point is actually the joint of the last knuckle. That hits the drum right here where the skin meets the rim of the drum. On these drums, that's easy to see. On drums with a natural head, you can still tell what that point is, and striking at that point will give you a nice, clear, sharp ringing sound, which is a good tek. From doom, you just move your hand straight out to the edge, again moving from the wrist, tek. So take a moment and practice tek. Now practice going from doom to tek. Doom, tek, doom, tek, doom, tek. Play this nice and slowly so that you can really take time to make the right sound. If you try to play tek, 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 you're cheating yourself, because you can't take the time to make sure that each sound is a really good sound. Just relax, play doom, tek, doom, tek. The left-hand stroke, called ka, is perhaps the most difficult on the Doumbek. The striking surface is your ring finger, and it too meets the drum right where the head meets the ring. The hand doesn't come in over the top, like tek. Instead, it comes in from the side. Moving from the wrist, your elbow stays on the drum. If you were to exaggerate the motion and bring the whole arm into it, it would be like this. And you might try that to really get the sound. Don't be discouraged if you're not getting much sound when you play ka right away. It will come in time. Just practice it. So now let's try an exercise playing doom, ka, tek, ka, doom, ka, tek, ka, to get used to playing all of the sounds together in rhythm. Doom, ka, tek, ka, doom, ka, tek, ka. Now you can try playing that exercise at different speeds, and it makes a very good warm-up. We're going to start out on what's probably the most popular Middle Eastern rhythm. It's called beledi. Beledi means village, and this is a folk rhythm. The distinguishing thing about beledi is that it has two dooms and then one doom. Doom, 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 doom. And the rhythm, the outline or bones or accents of the rhythm goes doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, tek. Let's try that real nice and slow. Doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, tek. Now when we add the left hand, we have doom, doom, ka, tek, doom, ka, tek. And then what the Arabs call a chain, we use tekka to bring the rhythm back to the beginning. Doom, doom, ka, tek, doom, ka, tek. Tekka, doom, doom, ka, tek, doom, ka, tek. Let's try that nice and slow. Melody can be played at a wide variety of tempos. It can be played very slow, like we just did, or it can be played very fast, or somewhere in the middle. Let's try playing melody at a medium tempo. And if you're having trouble keeping up, you can play the simpler melody. Doom doom, tech doom, tech. Doom doom, tech doom, tech. Melody can also be played quite fast. So now we'll play just a little bit of fast melody. You can hear how it sounds, and you can play along. A rhythm that's closely related to melody is called maksum. Maksum is the more ensemble version of melody. You'll find that in songs, maksum is used more often than melody because the two dooms of the beginning of melody is very heavy for instruments like violin or oud or the nai, the reed flute, to play over. So often in ensembles or in songs, maksum is used. Maksum, instead of going doom doom, tech doom, tech, has a tech in place of the second doom. Doom tech, tech doom, tech. Doom tech, tech doom, tech. Doom tech, tech doom, tech. So now, let's try, very slowly, some simple maksum. Doom tech, tech doom, tech. Maksum, like melody, is played with the left and right hand together. It goes doom tek ka tek doom ka tek teka doom tek ka tek doom ka tek. Now in all of these rhythms, the accents are what make the rhythm really what it is. The accents are what make people hear it and want to jump out of their seats and dance. If you play all of the tones together, then what you have is just an even line of noise. Doom tek ka tek doom ka tek teka doom tek ka tek doom ka tek. It's kind of dull, and it doesn't get anybody dancing. But when you add the accents, that's when the rhythm comes alive. Doom tek ka tek doom ka tek teka doom tek ka tek doom ka tek teka doom tek ka tek doom ka tek. That's when it really happens. So really listen to yourself when you play and make sure that you're playing the accents. The accents in these rhythms all fall on your right hand. And so now, maksum. privileged today to have some very good Middle Eastern musicians with me, Brad Wright, James Ismail, and Shirley Forrest. And together, we're going to play the rhythm Maksum from the popular Egyptian song Hibina. The next rhythm that we're going to play is called Ayub. Ayub is a 2/4 rhythm, which means that you count it 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And Ayub sounds like this. The accents of Ayub are doom, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek. 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and doom, doom, tek. But what makes Ayub really interesting is the syncopation that comes from the left hand. You play ka just before the second doom. Doom, ka doom, tek. Doom, ka doom, tek. Doom, ka doom, tek. Doom, variation that you can play puts a second left hand ka between the two dooms. Doom ka, ka doom te. Doom ka, ka doom te. And you play the two of them together as variations. Let's try that really slowly. And now, let's play Ayu a little faster. A variation of Ayu is called Felahi. Felahi is generally played very fast, and it's very full. It goes doom ka tekka doom ka tek tika doom ka tekka doom ka tek tika doom ka tekka doom ka tek. We're going to play it very slowly so that you can get the hang of it. Doom ka tekka doom ka tek tika doom ka tekka doom ka tek. Now let's try playing all of the Ayu variations at a medium tempo, like this. One of the things that most drummers want to be able to play are rolls. Playing rolls is an easy thing to practice. This is one time where you can actually get faster and faster and faster. The mechanics of playing a roll is just playing tek-ka, tek-ka, tek-ka until you're playing fast enough that it becomes a roll. Tek-ka, tek-ka, The thing about playing rolls is The second thing is that most likely you'll reach a point where you can't play as fast as you're trying to play. You'll know you've hit that point because instead of going teka teka teka, you'll start feeling like you're playing blah blah. Feels pretty bad, it sounds pretty bad. When you've reached that point, slow down a little bit. Get your body used to playing at that speed. Even if that speed seems really slow, play at the speed at which you can play evenly. Tek and ka should be the same volume, and they should be spaced nice and evenly. As your body gets used to it, you'll be able to play faster, so that over time, if you practice, you'll be playing rolls up to speed. Another technique that's used on the Doumbek is called a half-tek. Half-tek is played by muting the head of the drum while playing the left hand ka. It produces a flatter sound, as opposed to ka. Almost any part of your body that you could reach the drum head with could be used to mute the drum head. You could use your arm, or you could just use a finger. Some drummers use the back of their hand, or actually this edge of their hand, but this means that you have to turn your hand to play, and it's a little cumbersome. I suggest taking your thumb and forefinger together and laying the edge of your thumb, including this nice meaty pad at the base of your thumb, on the drum head. It contacts the head of the drum lightly, just as you strike with the left hand. And then practice going on and off the drum so that you can work with the difference between the half-tek and ka. If you move your right hand, you'll get different pitches on the drum. And you can experiment using more or less skin on the drum. When you've really got the hang of it, you can probably do it with one finger. So practice half-teks. Another technique on the Doumbek is pop. Pop is the loudest sound that you can make on a Doumbek. Pop is a sound that can get you in a lot of trouble. If pop fell into the wrong hands, world governments would topple. So you want to be careful about using it. Pop is really, it's like the strong spice in your kitchen. It's like habanero peppers. It's something that you don't use a lot of, but if used properly, it's an incredible, incredible treat. There are actually several types of pop. The loudest is full pop. If this is doom, this is pop. Now pop isn't played by hitting the drum really, really hard. It's not pop, it's just pop. It's played in almost the same position as doom, but you're making a pocket with your hand that moves the air differently. And you're, rather than bouncing your hand off the drum, you're grabbing the skin with the tips of your fingers. Pop. Practice pop, and use it sparingly. Then practice going from doom to pop. A variant of pop has all of your fingers loose. It's a much softer sound. And it's often used to add variations to rhythm. For example, maksum, doom tek, tek doom tek. With these soft pops, sounds like another variation of the pop is called half pop. Half pops are more versatile than pops. They're not as loud. They can be used to flesh out a rhythm or to provide an accent. Half pops sound like this. If pop is played in the same position as doom, the half pop is out a little bit toward the edge. This part of the hand contacts the drum, not like this, not like you're trying to make a karate chop into the drum, but by forming a pocket, the air is forced out like that. The fingers, especially the top fingers, can be loose. And you're not hitting the drum hard. You can make a very quiet half pop or a loud one. Half pop can be used to fill out a rhythm. Or it can be used as an accent. Practice the half pop, and the full pop, and the softer pop. The next rhythm that we're going to play is called shiftatelli. Shiftatelli is an 8-beat rhythm, and it's used musically for improvisation, and for dancers, it's used generally for a slow section of the dance called taksim. Shiftatelli can be played slow or fast, and it sounds like this. Shiftatelli, the rhythm, the accents of the rhythm, goes doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. Doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. Nice and slowly, that's doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. Doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. There's a space at the end of the rhythm, or rest. Doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. Rest. Doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. That rest is one of the places that gives you room to improvise. You can use the Arabic chain, tekka, to bring the rhythm back to one. Doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. Tekka, doom. Ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. Or you can use other fills to fill in that rest. But it's important that some of the time you leave the rest playing. That gives the rhythm much of its character. So now, let's play a little more shiftatelli and fill in the rest. Doom, ka, tek, doom, doom, tek. Doom, ka, tek, doom, doom. Bones are still there. Boom, ka, tek, boom, boom, tek. Boom, ka, tek, boom, boom, tek. Boom, ka, tek, boom, boom, tek. Shiftatelli can also be played much faster, almost double time. So we'll play a little bit of faster shiftatelli so you can hear what that sounds like and play along. Doom ka tek, doom doom tek. Doom ka tek, doom doom tek. Now we're going to play the rhythm shiftatelli with the band, and you can feel free to either keep the basic rhythm or to branch out and improvise a little bit. The next rhythm that we'll play is called malfouf. Malfouf is a 2/4 rhythm. It sounds like this. The main feature of malfouf is the syncopation. It goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Doom 2, 3, tech 2, 3, tech 2. Doom 2, 3, tech 2, 3, tech 2. Malfouf can serve as a very useful exercise for learning to play double left hand ka. We play boom ka ka tek ka ka tek ka, which is actually how the rhythm is played. Let's try that very slowly, and don't get discouraged if it's hard at first. Now, a common mistake that people sometimes make learning Malfouf is they get caught in playing 3. So they play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then realize that something is wrong. You have to play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And be careful that you don't speed up at the end of the rhythm. Keep it nice and relaxed and even. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now let's try Malfouf just a little bit faster. When Malfouf is too fast for you to play with 2 left-hand kas, you can play a simpler Malfouf that goes doom ka tek, doom ka tek, doom ka tek. Sometimes Malfouf is played very fast, and especially for a new drummer, this allows you to stay with the beat and play the beat, but still keep up at faster speeds. Doom ka tek, doom ka tek. Or sometimes doom ka tek, doom ka tek. Now we'll play Malfouf just a little bit faster and play it whichever way you're comfortable, either with the left hand fulling in or with the simpler Malfouf. Complex. that's related to Malfoof in that it uses the same rhythmic syncopation 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 is called Saudi, and whereas Malfoof is doom tek tek doom tek tek, Saudi, or sometimes called Khaliji, is doom doom tek doom doom tek. And it's not really played as full as Malfoof. It's played doom ka teka, doom ka teka. This is a wonderful, very funky, very earthy rhythm that's used throughout Saudi Arabia, and you'll find lots of places to play it. Rhythm that we're going to play is called Karşlama. Karşlama is a rhythm from Turkey. It's also found in Greek music where it's called Karsilama. It's a 9/8 rhythm. Now this is a very unusual rhythm for Westerners because we mostly play things that are even, 4/4 or 6/8. 9/8 is something that will probably be new and different for most of you. But don't panic. 9 is just like 10, actually, if you're missing a finger. 9/8, or Karşlama, is easiest to understand if you break it down into 2s and 3s. And most odd meters are like this. If you can break them down into 2s and 3s, you'll have no trouble understanding. This one is very simple. It goes 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. This is a popular folk dance, and it's easier if you imagine the dance, because the dance has 3 steps at the end. So you have dancers going 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Now of course they do it much more gracefully than I do, but the principle holds just the same. So we're going to play very simple Karşlama. But first, I'd like you to hear how Karşlama sounds. Now let's try Karşlama, played simply and very slowly. Doom, tek, doom, tek, tek, tek. Doom, tek, doom, tek, tek, tek. Doom, tek, doom, tek, tek, tek. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Ticka doom ticka tack tack tack. Doom tack doom tack tack tack. Now, you'll probably want to play Karşlama with a little more fire and a little more fill than that. So Karşlama is commonly played Doom tek a tek tek a doom tek a tek tek tek. Doom tek a tek tek a doom tek a tek tek tek. A common mistake that people make playing Karshlamah is to rush that last tek tek tek. They'll play doom tek a tek tek a doom tek a tek 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 doom tek a tek tek a doom tek a tek 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 and rush the last teks, which speeds the whole rhythm up and throws everything in the blender. What you want to do is play everything nice and even. What we'll do is slow this rhythm down so that you have time and room to play the full rhythm. Doom tekka tek tekka doom tekka tek tek tek. Doom tekka tek tekka doom tekka tek tek tek. Doom tekka tek tekka doom tekka tek tek tek. Doom tekka tek 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 tek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you get more comfortable, you can leave off one of the last teks. Tek, tek, rest. Doom, tek, 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 doom, tek, 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 rest. Doom, tek, 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 doom, tek, 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 rest. 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 Or doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, tek, rest. Tek, doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, tek, rest. Tek, doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, tek, rest. Tek, doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, tek, rest. Tek. Now let's try playing Karshlamah at a medium tempo. And again, if you have difficulty keeping up, play the simple Karshlamah and stay with the rhythm. You can just play doom, tek, 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 doom, tek, tek, tek. Now we'll play the rhythm Karshlamah with the band. The song that we're playing is a Turkish song called Anwar, and we'll play a drum solo in the middle in the 9/8 rhythm. So let's go. the time. So we're going to practice that, and in a moment we're going to play with the band a song that moves from Malfuf to Maksum and back again. So let's practice that. Malfuf, you can play the simple Malfuf. And Maksum. So we'll practice that now, slowly. We'll play Malfuf and then Maksum, back and forth. Because Malfuf is a shorter rhythm than Maksum, we'll play it 8 times, and we'll play Maksum 4 times, and we'll change back and forth. Nice and slowly, starting with Malfuf. Doom ka tek ka teka, doom ka tek ka teka, doom ka tek. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maksum. Doom tek, tek, doom tek. 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 6, 7, 8. Maksum. Doom tek, tek, doom tek. 3, 4. Malfuf. 5, 6, 7, 8. Maksum. Doom tek, tek, doom tek. 3, 4. Malfuf. 6, 7, 8. Maksum. 2, 3, 4. And now I'd like to talk about what happened to my drum. It seems to have turned into a small child. Well, we'd like to talk about playing for dancers. Playing drum solos for dancers is different than playing drum solos for other musicians or for an audience. Because you want to be sure that the dancer can follow what you're doing. If she looks good, you look good, and she'll look good by being able to hear what you're playing, repeat it, so that she can dance to it. When you're playing a solo for yourself or just for an audience, you can play things stream of consciousness fashion, you can just go out farther and farther. But when you're playing for a dancer, there are certain conventions that it's nice to follow. Typically, a Middle Eastern drum solo will use 4s. A phrase will be repeated 4 times, sometimes with a variation at the end. Phrases are often simple, or simple phrases are mixed with more complicated phrases. This way the dancer has something that she can grab onto and really work with, and then she'll be able to work more easily with more complicated pieces. And the solos often build in complexity. Another trick in soloing for dancers is using different tempos, playing at a fast tempo and then a different rhythm, or a different tempo, slowing it down, speeding it up again, and building into a frenzied climax, which after all is what it's all about. Now to complete the lesson, we'll put together everything we've learned. We'll switch rhythms from Malfuf to Maksum and back again, accompanying a dancer, the incredible Judine. And we'll play a drum solo, using the things that we've talked about for accompanying dancers. And so now we'll play the popular Arabic song La Taba Kazaz. Let's go.